time we talked about investing in people, right? Charity, helping different people. There's another group of people that you can invest in to help you retire. Can you guess which group?
Your children.
Yes.
The world will run back to babies for the antidote.
The crazy thing is, in modern day society, people shun that idea. But I really want to challenge that prejudice. Before, most people just work all the way until they pass away. There's that traditional idea of you raise them when they're young and then they help you when you're old. Now, I'm not saying this is the better way. I just want to use that idea as an example to talk about family. It's obviously most common to invest in your children and pour yourself into them and help them become successful. Like, I don't feel a burden when I help my mom because she invested so much in me. As opposed to, sometimes a lot of people, they have kids, but instead of investing in their education, oh no, I have to put a portion of it into my Roth IRA and I don't get to see it until I'm old. If you take that money instead and invest it in their education, make them better, they are better off, and then when they grow up, they will love to help you, right? It's actually mutually beneficial.
Like, there's a lot of ways where it can go wrong, but I feel like if it's really healthy, like you're saying with your mom, where it's like she helped me and now I happily help her, but I feel like there's got to be that foundation of a good relationship. Like, it's a genuine gift. It's not like, hey, I'm giving you this and I, wink wink, like you kind of owe me now. It's like a retirement plan, but that's not just focused on like the bottom line, right? Yeah. It's about relationships too. But how have you seen that in your life? So
any sort of partnership all requires that trust. When an employer trusts an employee, hires them on the first day, they don't know what they're really going to be able to do, but there's so much trust. When an angel investor invests in somebody who's doing a startup, a lot of trust. It might fail. Millions might be lost. No matter what you do with your time, your resource, your money, it's still based on trust. It's not so much relying on your kids to give to you, but you're trying to help them succeed in every way, shape, and form, including being generous and including being a giver.
Yes.
Right? And so that's all part of that parental package. Before, we're talking about investing in other people's talents, helping them start companies. Another one is investing in your children or your family member, your cousin. There's one other one that's actually quite unique, and it's actually one of my clients. It's just a secretary. A secretarial job her entire life, but she's making bank now. Why and how?
Yeah, tell me.
Again, it's trust. We think you have to work really hard at a job, become super excellent. There's this other way where you just become very trustworthy to the right person. In this case, it was the secretary of one of a large company CEO. Because of her trustworthiness, the CEO has entrusted her with a lot of the key passwords to a lot of different accounts. She is able to earn a really nice living and comfortable wage for the rest of her life because the CEO needs to trust important secrets to her.
So I had an Uber driver once, and she had a similar sort of thing. She was a personal assistant for this older woman who lives, by the beach, and it started out again, very, very normal, good pay. They had a good relationship essentially, but then her boss got older, and so the boss is like, I don't need you as often anymore, but I also don't I don't want to go through the hassle of trying to find someone else and train someone else because you know how to do everything. So she cut her hours basically in half. Now you barely work and you make what you were making before, and it's just a great deal.
Trust is one of the rarest commodities. And so sometimes it's not about just your skill or your recognition. Sometimes it's something much less tangible. Another way to joyfully retire is to lean in on the cause that you believe in. So instead of taking your money, investing it, hoping for a nice little retirement, if you are involved with a particular charity, if you're investing in a particular cause, that might be the solution for your retirement as well. I have a client who's part of the Veterans Affairs. They have a nonprofit that is in association with Veterans Affairs, and they just hold community gatherings, hanging out, eating, and celebrating. There's a lot of donations. The biggest difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit is for a for-profit, you invest and then you hopefully get a return or something like that. In a nonprofit, you donate, you get an immediate tax write-off. Yeah. And the nonprofit is obligated to spend the money. And if you are a member and you are getting a salary and then you organize these events, well, then that it's a nice little retirement plan. You don't necessarily have to save up your entire life to retire based on those income. When you invest a lot in a particular cause, you will have that recognition. That cause itself can take care of you for the rest of your life.
And like having a community, because I know like loneliness is a challenge. It's awesome that he gets paid to do that, but it's also like you have friends for life,
Right.
you know, and that's probably more valuable or just as valuable,
Right.
to the point like where I'd be really sad if I was retired and had my nice little nest egg and like no friends.
And why did that happen? Because their entire life they work hard and they go from job to job to job. They take all their money and they save it and they invest it, and their kids leave them, and then now they're alone.
Using your money and your time now for what really matters later, which is not actually money. Like you need a little bit, but probably a little bit with those relationships that that gentleman has is way better than, 10 times with nobody around. I have a pretty bad memory. You know how there's some people who like, oh yeah, when I was 2 and laying in my crib, and I remember this, and I'm like, that's insane. Yeah. I'm not that person. And I guess it's not just like memories, like personal memories, but also knowledge. So is there any way to basically improve memory?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes. So before I teach you how, right?
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Where is the nail clipper in your mom's house?
It's in, it's in her master bath. So there's like a vanity here, and it was here, the second drawer down.
What about if she got pizza and there's like the cheese and the red pepper flakes? Where would she keep that?
In like a acrylic container in the pantry.
How did you know that? Or how would you know all of these things? It's because you intentionally thought, where should this thing go? You've placed it there. So this is called mind mapping. How do you mind map, you ask? You take this body of knowledge and then you try to place it in a certain setting. Pick a setting that you are most familiar with. It could be your house. It could be your office. It could be a park that you go to, as long as you're in full command of that space. And then just think, where would this piece of information go? It's the conscious decision of spending 10 seconds on each idea and then placing them somewhere that you have a command over. Like, this is where this knowledge lies. It's not just floating in the ether. Let's say you want to memorize people's names and their interests. So you have 50 people. Place them in your house. Where would they likely have a conversation? In which room would they be in?
So interesting, because I'm just now picturing my mom's house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's so many drawers in my mom's house, and if I could put something in all of those drawers, like that's a lot of stuff. So I'm like the capacity.
Yeah. You already memorized like literally tens of thousands of things in your mom's house.
I gotta try it. My mind palace.
Your own personal mind palace.
How can we attain happiness? And not just for a moment, right? How can we truly be happy?
So when I was thinking about this particular topic, I didn't really get to one magical answer. But